We are going to solve absolute value equations. So remember, absolute value is the distance from 0 on a number line, written as those absolute values x. So here's our first example. If the absolute value of x equals 4, that tells us that either x equals 4 or x equals -4. So x equals -4. Okay. Because both of those make that equation true. So this first one says absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 5. So I'm going to write it as 2x minus 1 equals 5. And 2x minus 1 equals -5. So I've got to solve both of these. I'm going to do both. And then divide by 2. So x equals 3. And the other one, get 2x equals -4, divided by 2, x equals -2. So see how we have two answers? Well, we've got to make sure that both of these answers work. So we are going to check our answer by plugging it in to the original, okay? So absolute value of 2 times 3 minus 1. And we want to make sure that that truly does equal 5. So this would be 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5, so that is correct. So we can say that this is true. Okay, the other one, go back to the original, back up here. We're going to do 2x. I'm going to replace x with -2. So that would be -4 minus 1. -4 minus 1 is -5. Well, the absolute value of -5 is 5, so we checked it. So we have two answers. We have x equals 3 and x equals -2. So we're going to have to do this for each problem. Okay, the next one. Okay, m over 3 minus 1 equals 2. So we are going to say m over 3 minus 1 equals 2. And m over 3 minus 1 equals -2. And then we need to solve both of those. So solving our equation for m. M over 3, we are going to, that's dividing by 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3. So m equals 9. Okay, and then we would do the same thing over here. Okay, we're going to multiply by 3. We get m equals -3. Okay, so we have two solutions, but we've got to see if they both work. So that's how we're going to check. So m, I'm going to go back up here. So absolute value of m, so 9 over 3 minus 1. 9 over 3 is 3, so 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Absolute value is 2, so we just checked it. Okay, the other one, -3 over 3 minus 1. Absolute value. So that'd be -1 minus 1, which is -2. Absolute value of -2 is +2. So it works. It has to work within this equation. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next one. We have absolute value of b minus 2 plus 7 equals 9. On all of these other ones, we have absolute value by itself, but this one we do not. So we must get absolute value by itself on one side before we can set our two equations. So I'm going to start by isolating that b minus 2 in the absolute value. So I do that by subtracting 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay, so now we have the absolute value by itself. Now we can write our two equations. So we can do b minus 2 equals 2, and b minus 2 equals negative 2. And solve that. So plus 2, b equals 4. And then plus 2, b equals 0. And then we would want to check it by substitution back into this equation. Whenever we plug it in, we want to plug it in to the original. So I'm going to do absolute value. Well, let's write check. 4 minus 2 plus 7. It worked?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so 4 minus 2 is 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it with those absolute value bars. So absolute value of 2 is 2, plus 7 is 9. So it worked. Because, yeah. All right, let's look at the other one. B minus 2, so absolute value is 0 minus 2 plus 7. It doesn't.
You get 5, not 9.
Yeah, you get 5.
Well, hold up.
No, you get
This
5.
becomes negative 2
Yeah, plus 7.
plus 7.
So that's 5.
No, what's the absolute value of negative 2? 2 plus 7. Because the absolute value.
How do you put that in the calculator?
I don't know if you can do absolute value in the calculator. We can look. We can look and see. And then 2 plus 7 is 9, so it does work. If we were to put it in without the absolute value in the very beginning, it wouldn't work. But because we have that absolute value, it changes that negative to a positive. Okay, so here we go. So we have 4 and 0. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, we've got to get it by itself, the absolute value by itself. So what do I need to do first?
Plus 8.
Yeah, plus 8. I'm going to think of that absolute value kind of like a variable where I don't move it. I want to isolate it. So I have 4 k over 7 equals 4. So it's 4 times the absolute value. So how do I get rid of 4? Yeah, we're going to divide this thing by 4. So I have absolute value of k over 7 equals 1. So I'm going to write the two equations. K over 7 equals 1. And k, hold on. Yeah, k over 7 equals negative 1. So I'd multiply both sides by 7. So k equals 7 on one side. And then the other one would be negative 7. All right, so let's check it. All right, so it would be 4 absolute value 7 over 7 minus 8. 7 over 7 is 1. So it's 4 times the absolute value of 1, which is just 4. Because absolute value of 1 is 1. So it's 4 times 1 minus 8. It equals negative 4, yeah. Okay, and then the other one would be the same thing, but we would have negative 7 over positive 7 minus 8. Yeah, so 4, absolute value negative 1 minus 8. But what happens to that absolute value? Or whenever you have an absolute value?
So 1.
Changes it to 1. So it ends up being the same thing.